Good afternoon, guys. How's it going? Hope everybody's doing well. Santa Claus coming on Friday. I hope everybody's gonna get what they want. For me, all I want is the same every day. Just get 3 meals and a cup of tea. That's all I need. Actually went shopping this morning. Oh, windy today. Wind comes from the northeast, and that means it comes from China ultimately, I guess. And the winter weather's coming. Lots and lots of wind. So and this morning it was 19 degrees centigrade. So I guess about 4 in the morning it's probably closer to 18. So needless to say, nobody here is used to that temperature. There's a young couple from Canada outside of Toronto now. They have a website called Eamon and Beck. And I watched their video last night, and they used to travel in a van. That's how when I first met them online. And then they bought an older house and moved into it, but they bought the house like in October, so they didn't have a lot of time to get it ready for the winter. Nobody lived in it before. It was a summer house on a lake, and so now they got this house and they're getting it ready. So anyway, it was -15 centigrade, so it was cold. And here today, 19, it's actually like 18 points or 19 early this morning, 19-0 this morning early. And you know, I'm used to this weather, so I couldn't imagine being there in Canada in that cold weather. It was actually -15, and then the nutcases drilled a hole in the water and jumped in the, or sat in the lake, freezing lake. Healthy, huh? So that was fun to watch. So what's happening here? The AC man came first thing this morning because the fan motor in the compressor is you know, that does the heat exchanging, is the bearings are going, and he says, oh, it'll last a long time. I said to Jan, ask him to come look at it, please, and get a new one, because it's starting to get louder and louder. It sounds like normal people would just leave it alone, but I got a thing about noise. I don't like, you know, if it's making a noise, it's because their bearings are collapsing. So get a new one. He said they're expensive. I said sure, bound to be, but get one. So he's going to try to find one for me. Of course, he comes and it's like 19, and it doesn't really want to cool down. There's nothing to cool down, so it didn't make any noises. So, but he took my word for it, and so that's in the pipeline. You remember on Friday last week I said I tried to buy some Christmas cake or fruit cake from somewhere, couldn't find any anywhere. Anyway, I didn't know, but Jan was already preparing to make a fruit cake, Christmas cake, and she's had some fruit soaking in rum for a while. So it was Friday last week, or weekend, she made it. She made a fruit cake, and it looks and smells crazy nice. Have a look. So there's Jan's cake that she made. It looks really nice.
Hi. So on Friday, right, actually we purpose is go to find some Excel program, Microsoft, whatever, Microsoft Office, and then Kev want to looking for a cake for Christmas, but here in Thailand we don't have much stuff for Christmas, right? We know we are the Buddhism, so we in the city and we cannot find the Christmas cake or fruit cake. But actually I cooked that before, I baked that fruit cake before, so I know the recipe, and I know it have to soak the dry fruit into the rum or some alcohol, okay, say alcohol, right? So I soak it for like almost 2 weeks. So when I open that jar, it's like a smell like okay, I change this name. I don't call Christmas cake, I call dung man cake. Okay, so it's okay for cake. We cannot go get the
It looks
any,
really,
but
really nice.
yeah, but we have this, and lucky that Granny Bear sent us dry food, some dry food on top. I just put it. Actually, it have something that have to grass. What do you call grass or grass that make it more shy, but I don't have that and I don't care. It's okay. So this is what we have.
Ready
For me, I call drunk man cake.
So that looks yummy. I thought Jen made it the other day and then says, you want to have a bite? You know, you want a slice? I said, no, leave it alone. As much as I wanted to eat some, I said, leave it alone. It'll taste better in a couple of days. You know how fruit cakes and things like that, spaghetti always tastes better when you reheat it. And fruit cake tastes better if you let it sit. So leave it for a few days to sit in the fridge. And maybe it's been in there since Friday, so I didn't want to touch it because I wanted to show you a cake, but I think I might have to have a slice this afternoon. So about sugar. Yesterday in the morning I was feeding the birds and I was like, where's Sugar at? Normally she'll come around and fuss with me, like, you know, I'm trying to do the birds and she's like sitting there looking at me like, come on, love me then. Well, she wasn't around. So I thought, So I happened just to look around behind me and she was laying over on that piece of concrete behind the house looking at the river. I thought, okay. So I talked to her and she wouldn't even look at me and her ears were down. I'm like, what's wrong with you now? So I kept calling her and she wouldn't move. Well, I didn't realize she couldn't move. She couldn't stand up. So I lifted her up and I moved her over onto the table. And I thought, I'll just see if she's got hit by a car, because sometimes, you know, they come down that road really fast. And I touched her all over and she didn't make a noise or anything. So it wasn't broken, nothing bruised or anything like that. And then I thought, you know, I told you before what happened to Mr. G. I thought, if somebody poisoned her, I'm going to go crazy. So, but her nose was wet and there's no saliva in the mouth. I'm like, okay. But she couldn't stand up. She had a little bit of strength in her front paws, you know, front feet, but her back end she couldn't stand up. And I looked at her eyes and their pupils were very dilated, like pinpoints. So that suggested a drug of some kind to me. So I looked online and, you know, the side effects of it, a lot of different drugs and stuff like that are, you know, when people have drugs and stuff. So I thought, well, how is she going to get something like that? Maybe if somebody give it to her or something. So I don't know. In the end, I don't know what it was. But by the end of the day yesterday, she still couldn't walk. So I kept going out to her, you know, to the laundry room where she has a bed, and she moved from her soft bed to the concrete in the next little area where she likes to lay. I thought, well, she's moved her back in to get there. So it was already getting chilly around 11 o'clock last night. So I have a pair of work shorts that I use as a bit of a rag, and I put that on her to keep her warm. Figuring that she just in case she's getting cold. Well, she didn't like that. She jumped up and moved about 2 meters. I'm like, hey, legs working. But yesterday afternoon I carried her. Yesterday afternoon I carried her over here, laid her on the floor, and then moved away from her and called her. And she kept trying to stand up on her back end, but she couldn't. And eventually she managed to stand up, and then her rear left leg would hardly move. But I managed to get her to walk about, I guess, 30 meters. And by the time at the end she was moving, but just a little bit tired. So I said, come on, whatever's bothering you, walk it off. But she wouldn't walk anymore. So she's moving better. So I thought, okay, leave her now. See, hopefully, I think she'll be all right in the morning. Well, as I said, the AC guy come this morning, and who's charging around the garden? Sugar, running around the garden. So then we went out to get some, go to the grocery store this morning to get a few things. and I happened to be I was waiting for Jan. Jan gets grass down the back down there for her rabbits. And I'm waiting in the house, and I was looking at the security camera, and what does Sugar do? Runs across the garden and drinks water out of a plant that's got like a toxin in it to protect itself. So I need to get that out of there and plant it in the ground so she can't be drinking that water. I don't know if that's it, but you know, who knows what plants are around that she decides to eat. And but anyway, to this morning, she's okay. So, but yesterday I thought, oh, she can't walk. You know, eyes looking funny, head looking funny, lethargic, felt cold. Anyway, this morning she's back to normal. So, and Jen's in the house now cooking her. We cook her. What she's got now? Some livers, or some chicken, and some minced pork, all mixed up, and that lasts her about 5 or 6 days. And put that on top, make it like a gravy with it, and put that on rice, and she loves it. So that's what's been happening here. So Kevin's got a cake, no stress. So I'll sign off and say good night. Look after yourselves, buckets of blessings, rivers of peace, joy, and kindness. All the very best. I hope everybody has food for Christmas. I hope you have somebody to be with. Look after yourselves. See you later, guys.